For Module 3, we'll take a look at a problem that has to do with an empty system and labor utilization. So we will take a look at the scenario we have laid out here. We have a process consisting of 3 resources in a worker-paced line, and all the workers earn a wage of $10 per hour. And here we're going to assume there is unlimited demand for the product. So we're asked a couple different questions. One, how long does it take the process to produce 100 units starting with an empty system? What is the average labor content? What is the average labor utilization? And then what is the cost of direct labor? So let's get started working on this. You will note that this is a continuation of the Module 1 practice problem. So we have already solved for the process capacity, which is 0.11666 units per minute, as we have unlimited demand here. So let's write that down. And that corresponds to a cycle time, which is the inverse of 6 minutes per unit. So the first question asks us to compute how long it will take for 100 units to get through the empty system. And for the first unit, that's going to take the entire processing time for a complete unit. So for that first unit, it's going to take 10 minutes to go through resource 1, 6 minutes through resource 2, and 16 minutes through resource 3. And then for the remainder of the 99 units, those will each flow through the system at the flow rate. So when you calculate that, you get 626 minutes to get 100 units through the system. The second question asks us to compute the cost of direct labor. And for that, we have 2 components. We know that we have a total of 6 workers who are earning $10 an hour. And then we need to figure out how many units we can produce in that time period to figure out how much money we're spending per unit. So we know that we can produce 0.1666 units per minute. And we know that there are 60 minutes per hour. And that gets us a cost of direct labor of $6 per unit. The third question asks us to compute the idle times at each of the resources. And idle time is the difference between the cycle time and the processing time. So take a look at it at each of the resources. So we know our cycle time is 6 minutes per unit. And this we need to adjust for the number of workers at each of the resources. So in resource 1, we have 2 workers. And then we have a processing time of 10 minutes per unit to give us an idle time of 2 minutes per unit here. A resource 2, again, same, sort of the same cycle time, but we just have 1 worker. The processing time of 6 minutes per unit. So here there is no idle time at our bottleneck. And then the last one also has an idle time of 2 minutes per unit. Next step, computing the labor content. which is just a sum of the processing time, so 10 plus 6 plus 16 is a total of 32 minutes per unit. And then to get the average labor utilization, that is equal to our labor content over our labor content plus our total idle time of 4 minutes. So we get an average labor utilization of 0.88.